Mm.
Hello and welcome to On Air with Odin, Gamemastering Pathfinder Dragonfall. And today, Ben and Tal will be in and out, if they show up at all, because they're currently mobile due to having stuff to do today. We do have Ombre, Kel, and Kiki here with us though.
Heyo.
Hi.
Oh yeah.
Can you guys hear the music on the map? Or is it like too quiet?
I have it turned down admittedly, so.
I hear a lot of waves and
Yeah, you shouldn't turn it down, because I
Sounded
put the
very.
music on for a reason. Like, you know, turn it down so that you can hear us, but don't, like, turn it off.
I don't hear any music actually.
Oh, weird. In your options, there should be, like, the master music volume.
Yeah,
level.
it's all the way up.
Weird. That seems to be inconsistent as well.
Well, admittedly, it's pretty quiet on my side.
Is it? Okay, well, let me just bump it up a little bit. Because now, like, Roll20 has its own audio in, like, a separate tab called Tabletop Audio.
You mean stuff that won't get copyrighted?
I don't, well, that's what I'm assuming it is.
I hope so.
It's also, like, nicely labeled, kind of using generic terms so you know what it's for stuff. Like, you go into
Tabletop audio, yeah.
Yeah.
I see that.
like, instead of SoundCloud, it's Tabletop Audio, and you got stuff like Bubbling Pools, March of the Faithful, Desert Bazaar, you know, stuff like that.
Well, I figure if it's free, it's royalty free as well. Which is convenient for YouTube uploads.
Yeah.
I don't need big names, I just need to know I'm on the sea, haha.
So I just cleared Jukebox of everything else, just so that I don't run the risk or anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so last time we had Evelyn over for lunch, and she said that she can, like, she's confident that she can, like, make a plan to get us over the divide. I mean, she's never failed a voyage yet. Not without some form of otherworldly force involved, at least. And so we all agreed that, you know what, if it doesn't work and we're alive, we can just come back to our flying machine. Because even Evelyn says that she hasn't really seen any flying machines on this continent. Like, she's seen them in Dwarven lands and stuff like that. And alchemy-based engines for these, like, metal dragon-looking things. But it was still like in the shape of a galley. But like, that's the only place she saw that, and that was the capital as well.
I was about to say good thing we have a dwarf on it, but then I recalled we were not sure on his race. He could be a big
I
gnome.
think he was a gnome, yeah.
He's
Gnome
a-
Mentor.
Eh.
He's a lunatic as well.
He's a
Absolutely.
tiny man.
So now we're out at sea, and
See the sea.
oh, where's that picture?
And I'm gonna see it soon, I assume.
Yeah, like that cross-reference map I was using for the ship. Like, this one's is now just gonna be the ship. But there was like a layout blueprinty
Oh yeah,
exploded
that
view.
thing.
Yeah. It should be in the Skype history, so if someone finds it, can you refresh it just so that people can see it? And also post it in the Roll20 chat for me so I can just bring it up on the stream without having to slap Skype up in front of people. Is it in here somewhere?
Let's see. Not that. That's a bad
honest, I
pun.
forgot to save it. Oh wait, did I? Actually, or did I put it in Pathfinder? What was it? This one? Oh shit, I just got off Roll20. Yeah, there it is, I got it.
Okay.
Professionalism.
Well, save it
Find
this
it.
time. We know what happened when you don't save stuff.
Well, yeah, it's on my in my bookmarks. I did save it to a degree.
Yeah.
Why is that happening a lot?
But
Trying to delete videos, it keeps coming back saying there's a problem deleting your video.
Yeah, just leave it to timeout. Don't worry about it.
yeah, their servers are borked. I was part of the lucky few lost videos to a server that set itself on fire. That was
That
fun.
happened?
Yep. I lost some Soul Blazer because of that.
Meanwhile,
So I'm gonna
Twitch tech support. Insert it crowd here.
Well, it's pretty much what happened. I asked them, well, I cannot find my videos, so is there like a backup I'm not seeing, or is it a glitch? And they told me one of our servers exploded. And I was like, okay.
Anyway, Kiki, just to bring you up to speed with Tuffy, like that picture I just linked is the cross-reference of Evelyn's ship, which isn't called the Falling Star. I think I called it like
Aha.
oh shit, I wrote this down somewhere.
Oh shit.
I'm still working with one screen though, so it's annoying that I don't want to bring everything up in front of everything else.
There we go. Gonna save this.
The Waking Maiden, I think it was, or something like that.
The Falling Star.
Well, no, it
Falling
was
Star.
still the one on the picture.
Blar.
Maiden's Wake or something. Yes.
We're gonna save this for later reference.
But on this rather extravagantly, nicely crafted ship, there's metal supports, you know, running just along horizontally along the hull. And those with a high enough perception check noticed that there was like engravings on it and markings of some sort that could only really be seen in the right light, where it just about catches the difference in depth. Kind of like how it's very difficult to read the One Ring without heating it up first, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, you all got on the ship. This part at the front on the main deck, where there's like the double bed and the meeting room and the study, that's Evelyn's quarters, her part of the ship, and said, you know, feel free to knock, but just don't come in without permission. You guys have been given these bunk rooms at the front of the lower deck. And basically just told that it'll probably take a couple of days to reach the divide, so just make yourselves at home. And you've noticed the shifting of basically a small crew that's like stays operating during the night and the day crew. So there's like, you know, your standard seafaring games and
Yahar.
you know, shanties during the day. Very basic meals. I mean, the ship is very well stocked, but when I say basic, I don't mean bad. I mean meat and potatoes. Everyone has an orange every so often, you know.
And a fish if we're lucky.
Oh yeah, like during some of the quieter times, there people will do like fish off the side of the deck. When it's like when the wind dies down to the point that it's very difficult just to keep going, it's sort of like, all right, well, we'll wait for the winds to pick back up.
Yep.
And you do notice that to the north of you, there's the horizon. But as you sail along, the horizon seems to, rather than keep going and being still at the same distance of the horizon, it seems to be getting closer. And it's only when you get within about a day's travel that you notice that the sky is blanketed by this wall of steam that's rising up out of what you can only imagine to be the Great Divide, where the seas are constantly flowing into it.
Black steam, eh?
Well, yeah, because there's also, you know, bits of molten material that make it kind of go a grey. Like, that's the only, like, partially transparent steam I could find, so that's all we got.
Normal lava stuff.
Yeah, because it's like not just the pure water coming back up, it's got like bits of
So it's like the kind of steam that happens when lava hits the water.
yeah, pretty much. It's the steam slash smoke. or like smoke.
That
If
means
you look
this.
closely, you can see the face of Gabe Newell.
That means the water must be really acidic a few feet near that stuff. Oh boy.
Badge.
Not that you can notice, but alright, so
It's so tiny.
you do have a few days to play with, so what do you guys fancy doing while you're on the ship?
Having a grand old time trying to see more whales.
See more whales?
See more whales.
Well, as you notice that the closer you get to the Great Divide, the less sea life is here.
Hmm. Oh, well, I expected that, but it's still sad.
Is there any sea life in here?
Now that you're about a day's out, there's very, very little.
That means there's no acid sharks around here. Okay. Acid sharks.
Evelyn retires to
Yeah.
her quarters every sundown, and she doesn't seem to come out until morning.
Just quietly mapping the stars in the sky.
Okay.
Stuff's interesting.
Okay. So Saphira's just looking for marine life.
Well, the stars are cool too, but it's the first time in her whole life she's on the sea, so.
Mhm.
Yay!
Ben is just being Ben. Sageheart's just being Sageheart. And
So one's smoking and the other is making bombs.
no, Ben's just being quiet and
Uh,
skulking about.
I hear Ben.
I imagine he's probably like
I mean,
hanging around
Fine.
either in the crow's nest or just up in the sails
No,
somewhere.
that was something else. Never mind.
so what's Kiki
That's-
up to? I mean, Tuffy.
She's just having fun, climbing in the rigging, like seeing how high up she can put her hammock and not have anybody yell at her. Playing with
just-
animals.
I just remembered while we still see some sea life, I asked Tuffy, "Hey, do you think nimble squishy wants to be free?
I don't know.
You wanna ask it?"
Well, I guess we could. She'll go over and ask Mr. Nimble Squishy. Like, you know, talking to it in Aquan and stuff.
Lorp.
Well, your response is kind of just, eh.
So you like us okay?
Well, it's kind of like, well, I'm not really used to that environment, and I mean, the water here is fine, and nothing's trying to kill me.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
wouldn't let anything hurt you.
it's pretty much like there's not enough intelligence score to do much else of a response. It's just sort of like, meh. This
I
water
think
is
Mr.
safety.
Nimble Squishy likes us.
Okay. Well, it was polite to ask. I mean, we're right here.
You get a dismissive bloop. That's about it.
That's
That's
what we're
about
calling it from now on.
bloop.
Dismissive bloop.
Ah, yes. Well, that's taken care of. Nimble Squishy stays with us.
Alright, well. As I said, on this particular day, the horizon is drawing closer. And the Great Divide has indeed been within view. So Evelyn's out on deck, and she's taken the wheel and giving out her orders to the rest of the crew, and she kind of laughs to herself a little bit and takes a moment to gather herself and looks down at the rest of you. Well, here's hoping this works, huh?
I certainly hope so.
Yeah, and so do I. I would rather...
The hell is that?
What?
Sorry, something on my screen just started like playing a random like sexy love song, and like the hell? It turns out it was like some other tab of mine just randomly started music. I thought it was like a very bizarre choice of music for you guys, because it was like a slow R&B like sexy jam, just like randomly started up as she started talking to Evelyn. So I thought Evelyn was making another move.
Huh.
I
Sorry.
need an adult. I need an adult.
It was just a weird tonal shift. Sorry.
So what, you had like a advert or something play?
Yeah, it's something like that. It's just one of those like another tab just suddenly auto started a video even though the tab's been open for like 20 minutes with no problem.
Oh, it does, yeah, one of those things where it just goes ping, refresh.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah. But no, okay, where was I? Well, I've come up with a bit of a plan, and I've discussed it with the rest of my crew. And, well, it's yet to fail us yet, so I'm sure there's nothing to worry about.
Okay. I'm only a tad bit apprehensive because this is the first time I've ever really done anything like this. So apologies.
No, it's fine. I mean, I think it's the first time I've ever sailed into the Great Divide.
Tuffy just drops down from some of the rigging hanging upside down above him and goes, "Yay! First for everybody!"
Yay!
Now that's the spirit. Well,
Spider ferret.
I was about to say, should I get grounded, but I'm on the sea.
that would be a good idea, Severa. I mean, once the ship starts falling beneath you, you want to try and hold on to it as best you can.
Yeah. I'm gonna go near a mast.
Well, everyone here, well, it seems it might be a bit quicker to get there than I first thought. The waters falling into the Great Divide have created quite the boost, as it were.
Oh lordy.
There is a request, however. I will need all of you to go with my crew below deck.
Okay.
You know what? I'm not gonna question that. It's just not.
Tuffy gathers all the animals and heads down below. Makes sure that the lid on Mr. Nimble Squishy's tank is all firmly on, so water doesn't slosh out.
Mm. Yeah, all of your supplies were moved to the ship, but the the map doesn't show the carriage, but it's there. Like, you can say that where that lifeboat is on the main deck, they like relocated that to a different point just up against one of the walls and tied it up, and then secured the carriage there where the lifeboat was. In the middle of the main deck, not the upper forecast. Anyway.
Yeah.
Alright, so the crew is heading down there, along with the first mate, who is the one who seems to take the wheel every night. And, he hands you guys all a piece of golden thread. Or at least a piece of the one extremely long piece of golden thread. Don't ask questions, just tie it to your belt, or whatever closest. Just have it secured to you. And take a seat.
Alright. Genevieve is gonna tie it around her belt then. A little confused, but okay.
Gonna have to put it around my wrist, I suppose.
Just as long as it's secure, it won't slip off, no matter what happens. And I'll be honest with you, if it does slip off at the wrong time, well, it'd be nice knowing you.
But I can tie it really tight, I don't have blood.
Well, that's for the best
So
thing.
comforting.
Oh, and people want to roll perception checks, maybe.
Oh.
Yay! What the hell is my perception again?
I don't know, but I like
Okay.
my perception. Come on, type.
My roll 20 is being kind of laggy right now.
Nice. Ouch.
Let's see.
Close
Okay, there it goes.
I'm
Alright.
just looking more. Yeah.
Kiki headed down first with the animals, so didn't notice. Genevieve caught the sight of what appeared to be a piece of golden thread around Evelyn's neck that she was basically playing at. Saphira actually saw her like run her thumb along the thread and actually pull out a pendant, like, and held on to it with her other hand on the wheel.
If I see her at the wheel, it means I'm not under deck yet.
Well, it's like as you were heading towards it, you could see her up there on the
Alright.
on the quarterdeck. Yeah.
Well, I hope everything goes right because I'm on that boat. Ooh.
Yep. Everyone is taking place at like sitting down at where the oars are, and everyone is sharing this one piece of golden thread and keeping it like through belt loops and stuff like that. And so you see this piece of thread kind of going between everyone, back and forth in a rather organized manner, along the benches. And you know, to help keep it kind of organized and not going to tangle up, the first mate kind of helps you find a spot where your thread should be.
It's just that I have other spots, but I'm not sure if the golden thread is gonna deal well with my inner electricity. Great.
Alright, so once everyone's situated, you can actually, like, the steam rising up actually starts to, like, seep in through the battened down hatches, only slightly, making it a little bit foggy in here. And everyone's holding on to the oars as like a handle kind of thing, because, you know, they're kind of locked in place when they're not being used, so they're quite sturdy to hang on to. And you hear someone stomping on the ceiling of the deck, and you can only imagine it being Evelyn. And you hear, "Alright, everyone just hold on, and we'll see what happens."
Oh, I think so tight. Oh.
Suddenly, you feel the ship start to drop, and so much so that, you know, you guys kind of have a sort of like whoa, kind of like lifting motion. And
Well, that's unusual.
all of a sudden, it probably dawns on you that the ship's falling.
It's not a fun sensation. I don't even have a stomach.
My word, I think the ship is falling.
And strangely enough, though, what you expect it to be rather like a reddy color light approaching from the approaching lava or magma, whichever the technical term is for it, the light source seems to go from in front of the ship to all around it and become quite a bright, like almost like a white hot sort of light that you can just about see through the well, not really, like there's no direct point where it like breaks through because it's a well-made ship, but you know, you can still kind of see it around the edges of the battened down hatches. And the steam slash smoke actually starts being pulled out of the ship.
Huh.
And the golden thread begins to glow. And you feel weight suddenly like come back up under the ship. But you don't hear a splash. And for a bit, well, you notice that the mist is entirely being drawn out of the ship. And there's this really eerie sound that's rather indescribable. It's like, it's almost silence. Like, even taking out, like, the crew, the entire crew are holding their breath, pretty much. And even the first mate looks shaken by it, despite perhaps this not being the first time this has happened. And all of a sudden, you hit something, although this time, it actually sounds like water.
Spleesh.
As you sort of hit, because you're sort of going, like, you know, tides, water, going across, doing that, the rocking motion. Suddenly you're just like, whoosh, falling. Suddenly, the ship seems to gain less downward motion and more of a forward motion. But then it's like, has that brief braking, as in B-R-A-K-E, where it just like impacts the water so hard that the water actually like makes the ship jolt before it like regains itself and starts bobbing again. Everything is quiet. There's just the creaking of the ship. Once again you hear seagulls now, where you did not before. It's just the soft coasting of the waves. All of a sudden just broken from a... "Oh, you lazy sods! I don't pay you for nothing! Get your ass on deck!" And the crew all remove their golden thread and get up and rush up to the top deck.
Well, okay then.
I guess it's safe to move now.
Mm-hmm.
Woo! Stomping upstairs.
Yep, going back up. Gonna see what the hell just happened.
I don't know what happened, but it felt awesome. And we live!
So you guys are just heading back on the top deck?
I feel like
deck.
rolling for seasickness is probably a thing.
I cannot get sick, I don't have any organs. Eh? Eh.
I don't know why, but I'm picturing like Bruiser having the thread put through his armor. The raven standing on Bruiser's head with a bit of thread in his beak.
Yeah.
Or like tied around his little foot.
Come.
And yeah. Okay, so what do you guys first question?
Well,
Just happened.
are we back up on deck yet?
You can be, yeah. So if you want to make perception
Okay.
checks, go ahead.
That was what I was gonna do.
Okay.
Wow, my rolls are shit today.
Is Saphira rolling or?
Yep.
Okay. Saphira, you notice that you're at sea.
Yay!
Genevieve, you notice that you seem to be not far off what looks like Port Tinker. Kiki notices
Boogaboos.
these things. Oh, hey, Ben.
Woo!
Eh.
Okay, just to bring you up to speed, we got to the Great Divide. Evelyn instructed all of you to go below deck with the crew. The first mate instructed you to tie this piece of thread to your clothing or anywhere secure where it definitely won't come off and sit down.
Tie our what now to our what?
Basically a segment of an extremely long piece of golden thread that is tying the entire crew to the ship.
Ah.
Then you suddenly felt, well, you saw like the steam rising out of the Great Divide seep in through the battened down hatches. Then you felt the ship falling. Then you felt the ship like hit something as if to sail on, but you didn't hear water. And then you suddenly feel the ship jolt as it impacts with what sounds like water this time. And people are just heading up top deck now. And you notice that you're at sea, and Genevieve notices that you actually seem to be just outside Port Tinker. And Tuffy notices before everyone, although people do notice in time, that Evelyn is kind of gone. There appears to be an entirely different woman standing where she was.
Hey,
What?
who are you?
Ah, yes, I expect you to be having a few questions. Well, my name... Wow, really? I just wrote it down. Where the fuck?
That's her name.
No. I actually, like, made a name for a token before I started, but I didn't want to then put like bring up the pictures on stream to then look it up. Well, now that I've forgotten, it was yes, because I was like tossing up between a couple of names. I said one. All right. Well, it seems you weren't given any forewarning as to what's happening. I am Felicia Tides. I am captain of this vessel, and it's a pleasure to meet you. But if you don't mind, I have not seen my crew in some time. And, well, looks like we're about to head to port because we seem to have taken a few knocks and need to just check her out before we head too further north.
I am really confused as to what just happened.
Okay, good. I thought it was just me.
I think actually
No,
saying
it's
that out loud.
Just kind of whispering back and forth stuff.
Wait. We are sailing ourselves into Falcon Haven, making sure the ship's still in ship shape, and then we're going to get you north. Any more questions?
I think it's still in the shape of a ship.
Ship shape, no leaks. Gonna actually get us there.
Oh.
Also, we might need to stock up on some supplies.
Found a G spot.
So, as I said, any more questions?
Yeah, a lot.
Alright, we'll ask them then.
Who the hell are you, and how the hell did you get here, and why the hell aren't you telling us anything?
I told you, I'm Captain Felicia Tides. This is my ship. And, well, welcome aboard.
I've got a couple. One, where's Evelyn? And two, I thought that was Fort Tinker.
Port, yeah. Oh, yeah, it, will be.
Oh, crap.
As for Evelyn, she's safe.
Okay.
You'll just see her when you go back. Don't you worry.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. If we don't step on a butterfly or something.
Oh my god. I'm sorry, Odin, but all I can think of is, I'm sorry, are you from the past? Ignore me.
No.
It's safer that way.
Alright. Just gotta change a few things here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm still utterly confused about all this.
Tuffy just goes, well, that explains a lot, and now my head hurts.
That didn't explain much, actually.
So you remember that guy that I met in the bar?
What about him?
You remember how he was like really, really old?
Yeah.
And like he used to be in Port Tinker before Port Tinker was Port Tinker?
Uh-huh.
And he said when he saw me that I reminded him of a friend of his who was also a ferret and had a doggy in armor. And I thought that was weird because I'm like the only one I've ever heard of.
Oh. You don't think...
Yeah, I do.
Ah. What?
You might need to explain it to Sophia there. I didn't want to just say it outright in case it, well, made you have a breakdown. Evelyn's my daughter, and don't worry, no stepping on butterflies will stop her from existing. She's stubborn like that. And that's when you guys sail into Port Tinker. You also notice that the Navy headquarters doesn't have its outer wall. It has just the castle, or the main fort, and the surrounding buildings. Well, I should say, it has a outer wall, just not the one that was almost as big as the fortress itself. Also, new harbor over here. That's not there. You can actually see from here that it seems to be just a flat coast over there. As you make your way in, that is. As you come to dock in the naval docks, you notice the city's in much better shape than you left it. Now let's have a look. What does tabletop audio have for a port? Let's see.
Subjects.
Ah, Ben is back.
Down by the sea sounds like a coastal one.
Ben?
Hello.
Okay. You're really loud.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're on the freeway.
Oh dear. Well,
Well, the rest of us are in the past, so...
Okay, what's the name of the captain?
Felicia.
Ties.
Felicia.
Yeah, it's Evelyn's mom.
Oh, lovely.
And we're back in Port Tinker, but it's not Port Tinker yet.
Sapphire gonna need 2 days to process this.
Yeah, we're gonna have to, like, update your operating system or something.
Well, more just like, it's... Well, even if she was human, that would be pretty rough, considering it's whoa.
Are we far
Okay.
back up in the past to stop the dragon?
I don't know yet. I'm not sure exactly how far back in the past we are, but I think it's probably before all the bad.
Well, if she's her mother, at least it's not like super in the past.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Unless she's really, really old and hides it very, very well.
Yeah, which is what I was kind of thinking.
There we
Did
go.
anyone get Evelyn's ears?
Huh?
I have no idea what
Oh,
you're
to
talking about.
check and see if she's an elf, you mean?
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, I hadn't even thought of that.
Well, as
Well,
you can
that's-
see, Felicia's a
Really
little
help-
rougher around the edges than her daughter, but she's still kind in her own way. She's just has less of an air of elegance and more of a, well, more roughly hewn, rough and tumble sort of woman.
Well, at least they both like parroting. Oi.
Yeah, indeed. And she's just yelling orders, and she puts the lock on the wheel as they are coasting in. Just looks over the side, walks back to the wheel to kind of adjust it, picks up the mooring rope and just flings it over the side of the deck to the pier. You see some one rather young, sprightly looking fellow basically just slide himself down the mooring rope onto the dock and start helping pull the ship in to secure her. Alright. Well, we just shouldn't be too long, day at most. We just got to make sure that she's seaworthy still after all that, and well, she got us here. I would just be surprised if we find anything too major. But well, the lads always need a bit of time to recover after something like that, so yeah, have the day off or shore leave or whatever. But just make sure to come round in the morning or a couple of days. Just keep me informed what your plan is, and I'll take you to the north. You know, now that we... So, well, I would say now that we don't have to. Now that we're yet to need to worry about the Great Divide. Don't think about it too much, it's easier that way.
Okay.
I've had many years to come to terms with it.
I'm just happy you didn't think we were I mean, from your point of view, we were not there before. I mean, I'm going to stop thinking now.
Don't worry, Emily tells me before she does this.
Okay.
You're Saphira.
Yes.
Fluffy one's Tuffy.
Hiya.
The big fella in the armor's Bruiser.
Oof.
The paladin is Genevieve.
Yeah. Hello.
The quiet one over there, looking at me suspiciously, is Tom. And the one who's been working with some strange chemicals must be Sageheart. That rather snake-like features are a bit hard to ignore.
Really?
So, Tuffy, do you want to go fix that time paradox before it trips time, or?
You might want to not let on too much that you already know who he is. Just a bit of
Well,
advice on
yeah.
that.
I'm sure Tuffy can make a planned coincidence. I understand myself.
Yeah, I'm just annoyed that I have to go make a whole trip to a bar just to keep time doing right things.
Which bar?
Look on the bright side, you might find a new friend.
Well, it'll be new from his perspective.
You're taking this rather well, I must say.
I'm sure he's gonna have new stories for you. He probably knows stuff that he forgot when you met him before.
Yeah, maybe. Ow.
Freeway, but friggin' aeroplanes going overhead from the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Oy.
Or maybe loud semi-trucks on the freeway.
Maybe.
That was not the freeway.
That was just an
That
airplane.
was a little aircraft apparently trying to do its impersonation of a dragon.
Ah. Well, we had random dragon sound effects. There you go, people on the stream. We do it all for you.
We got a 737 to fly overhead just for you guys.
It's all part of the plan
Be right back.
that I just made up.
Yes.
Alright, well. Anyway, lads, we were. Well, lads and ladies. It's not really become a gender identifying term to me. It's,
Eh?
never mind. Just ignore me. Everyone, crew, and passengers, adventurers, just enjoy your time, and I'll be here. I've got a few things to catch up, and actually. If you're going to the bar, I might come with you once I'm... Actually, no, I think everything's done here. It's all moored up. Get the ship and to check the shipping. Alright. I need a drink. she just lowers the boarding plank and walks down.
Just if you just stands there for a moment and goes, you know what? I think I need one too.
I need a world picture.
Drinks for everyone then. Alright, I know your place. And she takes you directly to... well... it's a familiar looking bar, though the sign's different. You notice that a lot of the buildings have a lot less makeshift repairs on them. In fact, most of them seem to be intact. And any of them that do have repair work on seem to at least have it try to imitate the original design, though, you know, the newer paint and layers kind of stand out a little bit on some of them. And she takes you straight into the fine shops and wealthy resident district. And, unlike last time, it actually looks like it holds up to that name. There are nobles dressed in some finely made clothing, walking around. With a guard detail as well, because despite this being the wealthy district, it still is just a port town. There are no fissures in the ground either. All the roads are intact. There's no bridges over infinite falling. Or at least until the fissure gets too narrow and you come to a sudden stop.
Almost makes you kind of sad seeing this place the way
It does, but it's something you have to get used to, otherwise it'll just destroy you.
I suppose, but it raises so many questions.
The dragon killed a lot of folk, and those that were good folk and survived, most of them went in the dragon. But still, that only explains so much. Oh, I'm gonna need 2 drinks, at least. You head into what was yet to be called Shazz's Dive. And I guess I should quickly remove some people from this before we start. Namely you. And you.
Yeah. Hi. Stretching.
Oh.
Alright, well. Okay, where is everybody else? Oh, right, not everyone came here the first time. Alright, well. Let me just grab Saphira and Sage Heart. They're the other ones that I'm missing from this.
We were in the parking lot.
You were. You were. You're already there. Dog's already there.
Dogs.
Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back. You sound like it's in a quiet place now.
Uh-huh. I'm back at home.
Oh, you're back at home. Cool.
Hooray!
So to bring you up to speed, you're now in Falcon Haven, which is yet to be called Port Tinker. With Felicia Tides, and she is leading you guys back to what is yet to be called Shazz's Dive. Let's see. The bar currently has a sign outside of it with a pelican with its beak open and a tankard basically pouring into it. And it's called the Parched Pelican.
It's so fun.
Okay, let's do this. Come on, Bruiser. So, she'll, Tuffy will walk into the bar and do a perception check.
Alright. Now where's the tavern music? It must have it. Slaughtered Ox, that sounds like it's going to be a tavern. Yep. If it's too loud, let me know. I'm leaving it at default volume because I guess these are made for use with tabletop, therefore their volume is actually quite low. You make a perception check. You notice a rather civil-looking crowd who turn to look at you, and for a moment they just appraise you, as it were, before dismissing you and going back to their conversations. There seems to be a bunch of people at this table here playing cards, and they seem to be those guys, well, a couple of the guys on that table actually pass you away. The innkeeper himself looks over to all of you, because it's not absolutely rammed like it was before, though it's still quite busy. Populated indeed. The innkeeper, seeing you come in, goes, "Ah, Felicia! Come on over. Not seen you around this way in a while." Felicia just kind of like looks back at you guys over her shoulder and just puts a finger up to her lips. It has been quite a while, hasn't it? Well, drinks for everyone here. Just, and don't start us off easy either. It's been a bit of a trying time for all of us. Oh, well, you best tell me all about it. Well, I'm not one for bragging, you know that, she says as she walks over to the bar. You do not see your mountainous friend. That was will be again. Or for the first time. For the last time. Again. We meet again for the first time.
I guess I gotta wait.
There's a couple of old boys sitting at the bar, and seeing Felicia and Saphira come to the bar, they just basically, both of them at the same time, kind of like look over, raise their tankard, put it back down. That's their form of greeting. Giving that little sort of like, hello gesture.
Suppose I'm gonna go over and sit.
Ah, man.
Saphira then.
I gotta say, I get jealous of your ability to drink alcohol when I'm in a place like this.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Well, I could, but I think I would set the place on fire. So I need water.
best not do that then. Alright,
Oh,
just get her a
Tom
pitcher
will
of water.
just sort of wander.
Thank you.
Right. I'll be sitting in my usual corner. Just let's round up the drinks before I carry them over. Oh, let's see. I'll have an ale, cider, and whatever else you fancy giving me. And I'll be back later for a bit more. Actually, get us a keg of ale and plenty of tankards. One of the, you know, table kegs, not a proper one. I'm not quite that well off right now. And the innkeeper just chuckles and he goes, well, I would be quite surprised if you wanted an entire tavern or a brewery-sized keg. I mean, I know you get through quite a bit, Felicia, but nothing quite that extreme, I would hope. Oh, I'm famished as well. What you got going to eat? You know me, just slices of hog, bread, butter, you know, the usual stuff I keep on the go all the time. That sounds like it will do me. Any of the rest of you want anything to eat? Oh, and, you know, what do you want to drink as well? You having some of this cake?
Yeah, that sounds fine.
I don't know, anything with ham in it, I guess.
Just load a plate up and throw some bread and butter on the side. That'll do us, I think.
Didn't you like apples, Genevieve?
Yes.
Maybe they have some.
Well, I don't really feel like an apple right now. Not after what we just went through.
True.
Oh. Well, I don't think I recognise your people with you here currently. I see your crew filtering in, but there's a lot of faces here I don't recognise. But hello, we're just welcome to my tavern, the Parched Pelican. And, well, if you've come in Felicia's company, then I know you're good people at least. 9 times out of 10. He's just looking at Felicia and she just kind of grins and laughs. No, don't you worry. Right. The barkeep just heads back and he takes a medium-sized keg, you know, basically the sort that you can buy to go on the wagon rather than, you know, the massive brewery kegs, obviously.
Right.
And he sets it on the bar and he goes, just puts a couple of tankards down and, like, on a tray just so that they can just carry them easier. And Felicia just hauls up the keg onto her shoulder, picks up the tankards and turns towards the corner. Well, grab whatever else you want and, well, the crew will do the same and we'll just put it on my tab and we'll sort it out before we leave. Of course you will, Felicia. Just like you did last time, and the time before. Yeah, exactly like that, I think. She sort of winds us off. Heads over here. Dumping the keg on the table, Felicia just sits down, kicks her feet up on the table, grabs a tankard, and basically just punches the side of the tap to get it going, and sticks her mug under. Putting it over the tap won't exactly do anything.
Hey, it'd be pretty impressive if she could actually get something out of that.
Like if she just made the ale flow upwards from the tap.
She's so amazing, she could do that!
Anti-gravity gale.
And then you realise that all the chairs are on the ceiling. Wait a minute. Wait a
Come
minute.
crashing
No,
down.
I'm on the ceiling. Uh-oh.
I just had that picture of you remember, well, in Nimbalheim, A bar where there's chairs nailed to the ceiling for vampires. Screw mingling with the rest. Yeah.
The crew take up residence on this table, as well as this one, and you know, when a couple of them join you on that table if there's room.
It's a nice
That makes
place.
sense. We actually move over there into her corner.
That's whatever your characters are doing. I'm just telling you what like Felicia was up to, the innkeeper. Like the innkeeper's gone back and he's sort of like, all right, well, I won't be too long. And he goes to the back and you hear him call out for his missus, and he sort of goes, "Oi, carve up about half that pig, stick it on a plate and some bread and butter in that, would you? Felicia's in and her crew are hungry." And you hear, "Oh, bloody hell," from the back.
Oh.
Tuffy's just kind of like sitting there with her drink, sulking a little bit.
Fair enough, you like staying at the bar? Or the...
Yeah, might as well.
Ah, cheer up, Duffy.
What did we get ourselves into?
Adventure?
Hey, I wanted to create a big flying balloon thing, and you guys had to go with the ship.
Well, we're kind of on a timestamp, so. Besides, we can go back to the airship plan once we save the world, I guess.
Well, it's too late now.
Well, it's too soon, you mean?
Oh my god, Saphira, you just made a time joke.
Good times.
Alright, so I'm just going to have Sage kind of just go along with things unless Tal shows up.
Saphira's not worried. She thinks everyone's too busy being at other tables to hear make time burns.
You know, when I
Yeah.
said time was of the essence, this wasn't what I had in mind.
Then it works.
Oh, is Tom joining the guys for their games of cards?
Yeah, why not?
Alright. Currently stands at 10 copper buy-in. Playing for keeps here, lads. But, always nice to see new faces over here.
Tom just smiles friendlily, but in a friendly fashion. There we go.
Yeah,
He takes your 10 copper and he actually gives you these nicely carved little wooden chips that have like basically you have more of them than you do coins, just so that you're playing with. I think you're playing with about like 50 chips. It's just so that there's being quite a low stakes game, just so that we're not just like 10 turns later, you know, it's all gone.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Well, who's dealing next? I believe it was your turn. And he passes it over to the guy to his left, and the guy shuffles the deck and starts dealing out. Let's see. Roll a d100, unless you want to do any form of maybe skill.
The only skill check I can think of that would be even be remotely applicable would be sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand if you want to cheat.
Mm.
Diplomacy if you want to like poker face. or like bluff if you wanted to like make it look like you were uncertain of your hand. 81. Nice.
Actually, wouldn't that be a disguise roll, not diplomacy?
Well, it's like diplomacy to poker face, bluff to. Well, yeah, I guess disguise does make kind of sense, but I guess diplomacy would be for exuding confidence. I don't know, whatever.
Either way, it's a +8.
Alright,
Boop.
so... Nice.
Nice. Apparently, Tom has played cards before.
Hmm.
They're playing what is in this world known as Texas Hold'em.
Mm.
In this universe, they call it like, you know, the ferryman's game, and it's like the cards in your hand is what you're going to be like paying the ferryman, and then the river is, you know, where the ferry goes.
Right.
And the one who makes it across with the strongest hand gets to rob him blind. So, like, just move around the map where you want to be. You get the big tankard. This dwarven woman comes out with this, like, plate of meat held above her head. And she just basically chest bumps the door open, because, you know, it's the swinging doors. Just comes stomping out, heads over to where Felicia is, and just puts the platter down as it was in the middle of the table with a loud bang. And she just looks at Felicia. Alright. Simon. Felicia puts her drink down, takes her feet off the table and stands up. Oh, not too bad, thanks. It's been quite a while, hasn't it, yet? Gnarled tooth. Oh, wow, I'm really out of practice. I can't even get the first line out. Screw it, should we just skip to the fighting? Aye. And the two of them just go at each other. Just start having a fucking scrap, but they're both smiling as they do it.
So, Genevieve, Taffy, you gonna go eat?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
I'm gonna stay here.
Felicia's like, we'll be done in a sec, and she's like, you'll be done in a sec, says the freaking little woman. They just laughing and throwing punches at each other. So you're moving over to the table then?
Yeah,
Okay.
my land's talking up here.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's just being really weird. I'm probably gonna have to restart my computer later.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
So pretending she moved.
Yeah, I mean, I could just move for her. You get, like, the big jug of water for Saphira.
Okay. Thank you.
You're gonna be needing one of those or two, he says to Saphira.
What?
The water jugs.
Hold on, I think Skype cut the previous line. What did you say?
The innkeeper asked if you wanted one or two of those jugs of water.
No, I'm coming. Whoop.
Oh, alright, well, just come back if you need another one. Just shrugs it off. And Tuffy's just sitting at the bar. Bruce is sitting next. Okay, right. Over in the poker table, the fight kind of like ends up bumping into one of the guys. And the first thing the guy does is holding his cards in one hand, like puts his other hand to his tankard to stop it from getting knocked over. And then just kind of like shoves himself back to try and push him off. He's just every time.
Hmm.
Yeah. Your game goes pretty well. Let's see. No, let's just do that. How do the other players' luck fare? Certainly not as well. And with nobody knowing your tells and nobody able to like read you, you actually clean up the table. Which, if you just take your winnings and go, will net you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 silver total if you just convert the coppers. But it's all in copper.
He's gonna let them win a hand back, just so it doesn't look like he's a card sharp.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Well, Bruce is just kind of barking along to the music. Oh, this is quite a nice little tavern thing sound that they have here. Did the map just move or was it me? Oh no, it's Genevieve's token's gone off the grid somehow. Weird. Alright, after a while, they seem to stop and Felicia's like pinned against the floor with this dwarf woman on her back, just kind of like pulling her leg up and like also locked an arm in at the same time. She's just like just starts smacking the floor. It's like, alright, get off me, you bitch. No, we didn't say bitch, that's like calls her a hag. Yeah, that sounds better.
So, does this happen often?
Well, it's become a bit of a tradition every time she comes around. But, yeah. What is that, like 6 to me, 4 to you? Yes. Aye, it is. And I'll make sure to pay my tab this time. Kind of like, they kind of grab each other's head and kind of like lock their foreheads together, and she just goes, you better. So you and your crew eat and drink like there is a bloody sinkhole in town. And after that, she just goes out back and Felicia returns to her seat. So we're gonna end up with a bruise or two, but she's just like, food. She goes goes to kick her feet up, notices the food's there, puts her feet back down to sit up, and starts piling meat on bread. Right. Anyway, just enjoy yourselves, and if there's any questions, I'd rather you save them for me back on the ship, just in case. But if they're not exactly sensitive questions, then by all means ask. She's just wolfing down food and throwing back ale.
I got nothing.
Alright. Suddenly the doors come open, and among the group of workers that appear to have just got off their shift and filtered into the tavern, you notice one is a hell of a lot taller than the rest of them.
and they all seem to be heading over to that particular corner of the bar where Toffee's currently sitting. Oh look, someone's at our corner. Can't be having that. A little weird looking thing. Oi, be nice. She ain't done anything to you. No need for you to start throwing insults at her. And that's when the mountain of a man who I forget the name of. I think it was... No, can't remember.
Sir reappearing in this timeline.
Indeed. And while he definitely has a lot less laugh lines and stuff like that on his face, it's definitely the same guy. And he actually has quite a bit of hair currently. And he leans in, he goes, like with quite a bit of a thud of his elbows on the bar, and he goes, just looks at Tuffy, looks down at the dog. Excuse me, miss. I don't mean to be rude, but what manner of creature are you?
Bit of ferret, bit of, I guess human. I don't know.
Alright, well, I was going to say, I've seen cats and dogs standing on legs, but they usually are still cats and dogs from the neck down, or regular dogs like the one down there. It's the first time I've seen one that's just the head, and then the body of, well, looks like a human warrior type, I would expect, but that's just me seeing what's on the surface. Nice to meet you. You seem a bit down. Is there something bothering you?
No. Just had a long trip that took me farther than I expected.
No. So you're a seafaring lass then?
Well, recently, yes.
Well, it's not quite for me. I'm enjoying keeping my feet on land and just working every day for my coin at something that's stable, for now at least. Some lads are complaining about our rate of pay, but I don't really care as long as I got enough to feed and house myself.
Yeah, if you keep working at it, it should take you a long way.
Yeah, thanks. Some people say there's no future in this sort of line of work, but things always get broken. Buildings always get built. And anyone who needs stuff carried around, well, I can do that too. Oh, I have to say... kind of looks over to the other guys. Kind of leans in a bit and says a bit more quietly. Quite frankly, find it a bit boring. Just feel like anyone else could do this sort of work, but I guess right now I am anyone else. I'm sure I'll find something more to my liking, perhaps to do on the side. Oh, anyway, you have to be the first of whatever name you can think of for your kind. Oh, I'll have to make a note of this. Anyway, I am being quite impersonal. I apologize. I did not mean to go so much about what you are. Who are you, by the way? I am... I think it was it Alejandra or something? Or,
I honestly don't remember.
I'll have to look back on the stream. But he gives his name.
I'm, Buffy.
Buffy.
Well, nice to meet you, Buffy. I am gonna get a drink in. He just like looks over to the bartender and just gives a nod, and the bartender gives a nod back, brings over some of the grog, and he drops a couple of copper. Oh, well, do you have any interesting stories to tell, Buffy?
Not really. We've just been traveling around a bunch.
Well. Well, I think meeting someone like you is, might be a story of itself.
I'm sure one day it probably will. Why don't you, tell me about the area? I've never been here before.
Oh, it's your first time in Falcon Haven. Well, some of the lads find it odd that I'm so interested in this history of this place, but no, I've been. God damn it! I keep dropping out of the accent that I'm meant to be going for. It's weird. Like basically, I'm trying to use a deeper version of my voice for Asimov, which is kind of like a slightly like Jamaican-y kind of thing, but for some reason I just will take a breath, take a drink, relax, and then end up going straight into my really bad some form of Celtic.
Just so you know, in the interest of time, she's just going to keep him talking about random stories he knows and listen out for anything that might be vaguely helpful on their quest, and then just kind of sit and nod for the rest.
Fair enough.
Just let him talk himself out so he'll have the memory he needs when he meets her again and fulfill all the time paradox bullshit she's kind of sick of having to go through.
Sick of it already? It's the first time it's happened to her.
Well, resentful of having to do is probably what I meant.
Yeah. It's weird that she saw it as an obligation. Then again, I guess it's sort of when she realized what was going on, she was like, oh crap, I probably should do that. But yeah, he goes on about how his grandfather was part of the original settlers of the town, and how he's been working, just helping do his part, building new buildings, doing repairs, general stuff around town. Helping move cargo at the docks, all the general labour stuff, but he's been keeping informed as to what's going on in town and the history of the place on the side, as it were. Just so his mind has something to do once his body's done working every day. And he goes about how there's been some rather finely dressed, odd-looking people that have come from the north, and he makes sure to say it's I don't really see it as a bad thing. It's just interesting to see how different just simple clothing can be depending on where you come from, and all stuff like that. And he's really curious to try and learn more about you as well. He asks what the dog's name is and where he got the suit of armor and how many battles he's seen to actually need armor.
Yeah, she'll give him she'll call Bruiser Crusher or something, just so he doesn't have a memory of the same names, but she'll more or less be okay with telling him vague things.
Yeah.
Oh, we were in a fight with some goblins or something, that kind of thing.
And he's like, oh, it's the first dog I've actually seen to wear armor like that. Or at least to wear armor like that and not be a mount.
Oh, well, I had it specially made.
Yeah, he's seen saddles on a dog before, but not a full-on special made piece of armor. You've seen it on horses, but, not on a dog. And then, chat. Okay, alright, so what's everyone else up to?
Tom is letting some of the guys win at poker for a bit and kind of even the table a little bit. Let's see, does the table's luck change because of this? Let's have it like a second D100 luck roll from Tom. Oh. Your...
Like I said, he made sure to lose a hand.
Yeah. Your kind gesture to kind of lose for a bit to get the table a bit more even and not just clear up straight away seems that at the point where you were wanting to sort of win a few hands, didn't seem to pick up a bit from there.
That's fine.
It seems you were on a good thing, but then when you purposely let it go, then it didn't come back.
Again, that's fine.
You're still
As
in
soon as
the
he
game.
breaks even, he's done.
As soon as you break even. Fair enough. The guys would sort of thank him for playing, and feel free to join them again if you're around.
Tom will just go back to wandering in the background.
Yeah, he's one of the guys is looking at. Wait, what garb is he in? Is he in his ninja outfit, or is he in the basic?
He'd be in basic clothes. He would not go ninja garb unless it was necessary for some reason.
Okay, fair enough.
The only thing that would set him apart is that sword he carries.
Yeah. When you stand up, the one of the guys sort of goes, "Hey," because he sort of notices the sword and goes, "Are you from over east?"
I am.
Yeah. I've recognised the style of blade there. They always look flimsy to me, but I see some of those eastern fellows doing some rather impressive things with them. As far as I can tell, they're good as any broadsword, and one of the other fellows sort of go, "Pah! No, you can't beat a proper dwarven blade." And they get into a bit of an argument about it.
Tom just smiles and leaves them to their discussion.
Alright, so the crew have grabbed some meat as well, having something to eat, a few drinks and that, and yeah. What is everyone doing?
Actually, I think I'm gonna lie down for an hour, guys.
Alright, well, I need to keep this short anyway because I've got the morning shift and Mark in the morning.
Good night.
Alright,
Night.
Right.
so what's everybody else up to?
Genevieve has questions to ask, but I don't think this is the place to ask them.
Does she say that?
Pretty much.
For
So I'm
these-
just curious as to how far back we went.
Alright, well, she kicks her feet off the table, she picks up the keg under her arm, she walks over to the bar and just kind of tips out her coin purse and goes, "Alright, pay the tab, but leave me some, would you?" He's just like, "Alright, well, yeah, that should cover it," and puts some coins in and puts the rest of them back in the sack and hands them back to her. "I'm having this to go." She's got the keg under her arm. He's like, "Alright, well, shall I get another one out for the rest of your crew?" He's like, "Yeah, they don't have to come back till morning." Alright. And then she, before he asks about payment for this second keg, she just kind of heads out the door and just gestures Genevieve and anybody else who wants to follow her.
Follow.
Does Tuffy feel like she's done her duty to the timeline by this point?
Well, you've been having quite a lot of conversation, and I would
hope that you've been having such a nice conversation that that thought has kind of gone to the back of your head, not at the forefront. But yeah, I would say so. Like you just look around, and you're like, oh, everyone's kind of going. Okay.
Yeah, so Tuffy's gonna be really nice and all about well, I gotta go. I think we have to get back to the ship or something, and maybe I'll see you around. And great talking to you. And she'll throw a couple of copper down to buy him another round and
Oh.
make her leave.
Well, thank you very much, Buffy. I'll perhaps see you around, and if you get any more stories, then feel free to come back and share.
I'm sure I will.
Just as his drink and thanks this week.
So she wanders out and catches up with Genevieve and Sphere and them.
One of his work friends kind of just goes and elbows and goes, "I think you're in there," and he just laughs and shoves the guy. Bloody drunks.
Okay, so you guys head back to the ship. This audio library for tabletop audio is kind of nice because you can actually filter it by genre, like fantasy and sci-fi. You head back to the ship and head up on board, and she gestures you to follow her into her quarters. She basically heads into her meeting room, as it were, and she takes the seat at the head of the table and gestures you all to sit down. Alright, puts the cake down, pours herself a drink. Ask away.
Now that I got over lack of everything, just exactly how far back did we go?
Well, seems I was around whenever and all we are came to pass, which is good because, well, it's nice when that happens. Just lose track of when and where it happened. Anyway, shake drink. Alright. Well, we're quite far back, far before the dragon attacked. Far before the Great Divide happened. And, well, long before Evelyn was born. Though, don't worry about me having to find the bloke to hook up with or anything like that. It's a bit more complicated than that.
Okay. I was just curious as to when this was exactly.
Don't rightly know exactly. I don't exactly have an extremely long calendar. But I would say, what do the history books say about it? Unfortunately, any of the ones that are about to tell us when it happened haven't been written yet. But it's quite far back. And as I said, trying to think about exact details about what's going on here makes your head hurt. So it's best to just go with it. Go with the flow, as it were. Go with the tides.
You punned.
Oh. Yes, yeah. Yeah. I'm surprised nobody did back at the bar, actually. Ugh. Takes another drink. Any other questions? To keep them coming. Let's get this all out of the way.
So this was before the dragon was defeated.
Yeah, and I mean he's about the dragon, but well, you can't do anything about it. If that's what you're thinking. You can't do anything that would prevent the calamity from happening. That thought has crossed my mind before, and it's good of you to think it, but doing so would probably make you never be born.
Okay, so that's out of the question. I mean, we weren't really going to mess with that anyway because, you know, time paradox, that kind of thing. So my next question is, do you know of this library that... somebody help me out here. I'm trying to remember exactly how we know about it.
The Great Wizard's Archives?
Yeah.
The Great Wizard told you.
Well, I know that, but I mean, just...
Or the Grand Wizard.
I was trying to think of how to word it and how I could possibly say it to her.
I can't even say for sure if it's there.
We'd have to go there to see. We don't even know if the tome that you're looking for has even been written yet. The plan is we head north until we hit the next continent, and then we return. Fast forward.
I was just thinking that if for some reason it was destroyed in our time, because, you know, it's very possible that could be it. That could have happened.
Very possible, yeah. But it also raises more dangers.
Possible paradoxes, you mean?
Yeah. That's
Fair
why,
point.
that's why I've always stuck to the ports. Never gone inland. Out on the sea, very little happens of consequence. And if you want to try it, I'm not going to stop you, but my crew won't be leaving with you, of course. When we reach the northern docks, then we're probably going to stay there for a while. Stay there.
Well, I mean, it's just a thought. I mean, we would all have to pretty much talk it over to decide what we're going to do, obviously.
True.
It was just a thought that I had, though.
She reaches into her pocket and she pulls out that sandwich that she was gonna have, the second sandwich. So munching on it.
Who else is in there with me anyway?
Yeah?
I'm gonna say everyone's there, and then we can retroactively put lines in.
Okay.
I mean, does Tuffy have anything to say about this?
Not really.
Zephyr just listening.
You said you had quite a lot of questions. Ask them all, don't worry.
You kind of answered one of them that eliminated a good portion of them, so...
Oh. Well,
Yeah,
I had to deal
it
with these
happens.
questions quite a few times.
I know it's not relevant to our quest, but did you see otters like me? In this time?
Relics like you.
Well, not exactly, but... like other relics in general.
Not that I can think of.
Hmm.
As I said, I've stuck mostly to the coasts, and
I suppose they stick more to the wizard cities.
yes, I sailed the seas many, many times, but
As I said, I don't want to be part of anything too major happening.
I'm just gonna insert this out of character, but this track in the background is making this sound a lot sadder than it should be.
Oh, and also if you did look, you can see like a large, like Hogwarts looking place where the sinkhole is gonna be. But all made of
Right,
like
that's gonna
white stone.
I guess to be fair, it would be kind of sad because this was before all hell broke loose. So
It's the calm before the storm.
exactly.
Well, just to answer a question that you haven't asked, she kind of reaches her thumbs into her top and pulls out a pendant made of gold, and it seems to be many different sized circles all work together into some form of clockwork within this tiny little thing. Let's say, best way to call him would be my father, I suppose. Not that he ever really wasn't exactly the huggable daddy type, and I'm not sure how or he claims to have created it, but I have my doubts even for someone like him. But he was not exactly afraid of meddling, using the powers of this little pendant. It was only meant to be used in emergencies, even when he said it, but he could not get over his own righteousness. If he sees something wrong, if he couldn't change it there with his own abilities, then sometimes he would tackle it at the source, as it were. And, well, for that individual, often things got better. Unforeseen circumstances often occurred, and, well, that's why I took our family to the sea. Kept ourselves to simple lives and only do what is really needed.
I see.
Evelyn, of course, understands this, and, well, so far so good in terms of her behaviour with it. Or at least as far forward as I can see. But, as you might expect, as long-lived as my family tends to be, I could only go on for so long before I needed an heir, as it were. Evelyn in this case. Trying to teach her how it worked and trying to wrap her head around the concept of it. Quite astounded by your ability to just accept it, and Tuffy, your ability to figure out what you had to do to make something that to you has already happened, make sure it happens. But it's really something that someone understands it so completely, so quickly.
I wish I didn't.
Hmm?
Tell me, Tuffy, if you hadn't met him, or if you didn't meet him later, Do you think you still would have chatted to him at the bar?
I don't know.
I mean, he seemed like a nice enough fella.
Oh, he is. I've got nothing against him. I just don't like being told what to do, especially when the people telling me what to do don't actually exist and are, time.
Hmm.
Well, when stuff like that happens, I tend to just try and think of it as, well, as I said, you probably would have talked to him anyway, so I think too much on it. Sorry, I suppose, for not warning you more about specifically what was happening. It's something that, when explained, is either not believed completely or people are too scared to try it. And well, I guess Evelyn just hoped you would understand and just did it.
Well, I must admit it was a bit jarring.
Well, a lot less jarring than going directly in a pit of lava.
That's true. I
Hey.
can't really argue that logic.
She always is one for the dramatic. Even when she was just a tyke. Always hopping up on the rigging and pretending to be captain. Oh, I remember when I handed over my tricorn to her. Anyway, I'm getting sappy. I need to have more drinks. So yeah, is there really anything else? I mean, you probably won't need to think of it too long. I'll take you north, and unless you want to travel and this time rather than go back to your one, you won't have to worry about it. It'll be done. You'll be back in your own time, and you can keep living your lives as normal.
Well, at least now I know for sure that time travel is a thing, instead of a theory. What? Jeez.
Theory. That's scholar talk there. Who's been talking to you about travelling through time?
I have a friend. We talk about a lot of stuff. I don't sleep, so we went to a lot of topics.
Oh. Alright, well I won't pry into any specifics if you don't want to give them. Alright, well, unless there's anything else, I'd like to just go spend the night in the town. And once the shipyard's given our ship, well, my ship, the all clear, then we'll be off. My crew can have a bit more shore leave when we get to the northern continent. And then, well, it really depends on what you want to do when we get there.
I guess for now, stick to the original plan.
Yeah,
So.
it's gonna take us at least 4 days to cross the northern sea there. And
Okay, so-
yeah, my crew know what to get though for supplies, because well, let's just say a lot of them don't exist yet. At least, actually, I need to go check that. I did have a fella look into shielding our hold, but much as it's worked for the crew and yourselves, it's hoping to see if maybe all the apples and oranges and grain and whatnot is still there. She gets herself up and stretches her back. God, no matter what bloody time I'm in, I always
feel like an old woman when I get like this. She takes another swig. You guys have fun. Stick around the ship. Go look around.
All right.
Whatever. I'll see you in the morning.
Okay, bye.
Okay. You notice that the door to the actual captain's quarters themselves, not rather than the wing or whatever, that's actually ajar. And she heads out back to town. She leaves the keg there for later.
You know, Genevieve, I know 4 days sounds long, but it's not gonna be 4 days on our time.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Genevieve is just trying to process everything right now.
We have plenty of days to think about that.
This is gonna make an interesting journal entry.
Yeah.
Start date.
Yeah.
Stardate, who the hell knows?
Before Dragon.
Hmm.
Everything else is now after Dragon.
BD and AD.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just know I cannot talk to my friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You try, but it's weird.
Well, actually, in character, I would not even try because I would
wouldn't?
be
Okay.
scared of. I would be scared of missing the magics, and even if it worked, it would be like, who are you?
Yeah.
And I would be like, no. I prefer just not buttering. Besides, you can know once we're back in normal time. It's just gonna be a bit lonely.
So if you as the sun starts to set, is anyone paying particular attention to the mages district?
Tuffy's kind of after they have that talk, she's kind of gone up into the rigging where she's got her hammock strung up and has just kind of been up there staring out at things, so she might actually be in a good position to see that far.
Okie dokie.
So I'll roll and see if she was paying any attention to that area.
The air is a lot more clear, there's less smog, the stars are very visible. And indeed, over in the Mages District, you see, well, at first it just looks like a star that moved. And then you actually notice it's actually light from the city below, reflecting off scales as a large, what appears to be almost night sky blue dragon just swoops in onto the mage's castle, as it were. And you swear you can see people that were riding on its neck, just dismounting. And you actually hear from this distance the rather boisterous laughter of the dragon, as it seems that it's indulging in some quips, as it were. You can't hear the words from there, but when he laughs, you still hear it because it's the fucking dragon laughing. And it's really quiet right now. Yeah.
Is it the same color as the dragon?
No, it's as I said, it's a night sky blue.
I just couldn't remember what color.
Oh, he's a
The
big
other
fuck off
dragon
red
was.
guy. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Alright. Tuffy kind of catalogs it for later in case it's important.
Actually, should the rest of us roll perception if we hear the laugh?
Sure.
Okay.
You do what you want to do. Zephyria can see that. You see that it's a dragon, but nothing really else.
Yeah, a bit far away.
Of course, Genevieve sees the hue and size of the dragon, and can even see like the figures standing with it up on the roof of the mage's castle there. They're just kind of standing on the edge, looking out across the sea. The massive like head of the dragon could be seen like turning to look at the others, and that large jaw moving to speak. Sometimes there's when the laugh comes out. The night, other than that, is peaceful. There is nothing going on in this rather peaceful little harbor town. I mean, some might call it a city, since they do have a cathedral, which is the defining term for a city. But the locals prefer town. It's a much more friendly sounding term to them.
Understandable.
Because they ain't no city folk. They're just traders. Sure, there are nobles, but explorers. Some of them are adventurers like you. Fishermen, hunters, the usual lot. Anyway, this has been the rather peaceful and story-heavy session for today. Because I have to get up kinda early to get to work in the morning.
Yeah. Well, that's a good session. 2 hours.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And we, kept the time stream from exploding with Paradox, so...
Yep.
Well,
Besides, honestly, I'm a bit barfy, so I might as well go soon. Blech.
despite not being able to get seasick, Zephyria is somehow sounding seasick.
Maybe it's the time travel that screwed with her.
Yeah. But yeah,
I mean, she's magic. Ew.
I know a lot of people are against fiddling with time in the campaign, but I'm keeping it brief and non-intrusive. So I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yep.
This session involved trace amounts of time travel.
Basically. So thank you for watching whether live or recorded. This has been On Air with Odin, Gamemastering Pathfinder Dragonfall. And briefly looked into the prequel. So